So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We have the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Prithwiraj Maitra, who is Executive Director, Global Skincare R&D Formulation, Tech Transfer, External Innovation, and Skin Biology at AbbVie. So thanks for joining us, Dr. Maitra.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm looking forward to the discussion and our conversation, and hopefully we can do this in person next time.
Yes, exactly. Well, let's kind of just put a framework right now for things that are going on in the market. Let's get some insights from your perspective. This relates to an upcoming theme for our October issue, so I think it's really timely that we have this conversation right now. So let's just get into what trends are you seeing in terms of the market for skincare, and what are some of the consumer needs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Rachel, we'll all agree that the last 2 years have been life-changing for all of us. And in several aspects of our life, we became really proficient and efficient with virtual meetings. And with that, it is not surprising that the need for facial rejuvenation product has gone up. But what is interesting is what we are starting to see an emerging trend in increase in demand and unmet need of body products and the body to address body aging. So we are seeing a trend where more and more people are concerned about the quality of their body skin. Neck skin is an area of concern amongst consumers and also amongst millennials. We, through our research, we have found that 43% of the patients are now concerned with improving the appearance of their body skin below the neck. And this has been going up since last year. So we are seeing some emerging trends around addressing aspects of aging for beyond face, so body skin.
Okay. So what are some of the drivers behind these needs? Can you speak a little bit, maybe, I don't know if there's some physiology happening here, or what do you think?
Yeah, no, it's a very interesting question. In fact, if you really think about it fundamentally, body skin represents 95% of our skin. And yet, so far, if you look at the science and the products being developed, 94% of the products have been developed to address facial skin aging. And the way the body skin ages is different, and it has specific needs and requires a very targeted approach. Many consumers may not know that the signs of body aging can start as early as in their mid-20s. And the skin may become thinner with age, which can further accelerate the signs of aging as a result of several factors. We all know the intrinsic factors of aging, such as sunlight and pollutants and smoke. We also know the intrinsic factors of aging, lack of sleep, stress, and also hormonal changes. We know that the collagen and elastin and which make up the dermal extracellular matrix, that actually goes down as we age. And with our modern sedentary lifestyles, and we all want and try to be active, there is actually reduction in microcirculation, which provides nutrients to some of the organs, and also fat deposition and redistribution. So it's a very complex combination of factors that leads to some visible signs of body aging, such as skin crepiness, uneven tone and texture, sagging, edema, and also signs of cellulite. So it is actually quite complex, and the needs are there and real.
Yeah. That is really interesting. That I'd never even thought of microcirculation, and it completely makes sense. So interesting how that might affect us just from a beauty perspective. So, so how would you say products then are being developed to address these different needs?
Yeah, so I think I'll start with, again, when we talk about body skin aging, I'll divide in two different parts. So neck and décolletage and other parts of the body. So neck is actually very, very interesting and complex biology. The stratum corneum in the skin actually is thinner on the neck than on other parts of the body and versus face. Uniquely, neck actually is the only skin surface, the neck skin, that supports this multiple range of motion, right? So with the contraction and the movement, and as we age, in fact, we found in the literature that the wrinkles on the neck can be 5 times deeper than that on the face. So
Wow.
as aging phenomena happens because of the range of motion, there is loss of elasticity. Neck and décolletage is also the area where it is more exposed to external aggressors like pollutants and sun rays that leads to degradation of the ECM proteins.
Hmm.
And last but not the least, as we age, the fat uh, deposition and redistribution is different for different individuals in different parts of the. So all this makes actually addressing neck signs of aging very interesting. In fact, I wanted to share with your audience a paper that was published in JDD in February of 2021, and I will share the link with you. It's volume 20, issue 2, and that talks about the different strategies to address neck aging. So, multi-modal approach to address sort of different signs of neck aging, such as the
Hmm.
thickness, firmness, and elasticity. And this is done can be done through supporting the dermal ECM synthesis, recycling and remodeling, supporting the elastic fibers components. We all know the dermal epidermal junction is so important. That is also something that needs to be addressed as we target neck aging and neck products. And last but not the least, it's protection against the environmental aggressors, and then also to support the proteasome activity and autophagy. So you really need this multimodal approach to target the signs of aging for neck.
Mm. It's a very multifaceted approach.
And the paper I shared with you that has talks about this strategy and also actually the clinical benefit of for formulating the product by using these strategies. So I think that'll be very interesting to your viewers.
Mm. That is interesting. So, what about the body? Are the strategies different, to address the signs of aging from a body
Yeah.
perspective? Mm.
Absolutely. Again, I think body skin is different, and the biology is different and complex. And stratum corneum is actually thicker in body with more layers of corneocyte. There is also a slower cellular differentiation rate on the body, which may result in rougher, uneven texture. There's also limited sebocytes and sebum around in different parts of the body. That
Mm.
leads to sort of dry skin, which accelerates for the signs of aging. And also, we talked about the changes in dermal epidermal junction is again very important for body. And what makes it more complex in body is again as we age and due to exposure to different environmental condition, the fat deposition and redistribution is different in different parts of the body. So it requires a very sort of targeted approach, a multimodal approach to address
Mm.
the different signs of aging for body. And the paper I would like to share with you and your audience is
Mhm.
another JDD article that published actually this year,
Mm.
this June. So this is volume 21, issue 6 by Dr. Fabi. And she talks about the different strategies to address sort of the body aging. Some of those overlap with the skin and neck aging, such as remodeling of the extracellular matrix. But there are some newer strategies that we think uh, are addressed in the paper are important, such as addressing the lymphatic drainage,
Mm.
the balancing of fat metabolism through lipolysis and lipogenesis, and then also clearance and recycling of the ECM protein. So again, I think this is emerging science. There's some products out there. There's some science out there, but we think that there's a lot that can be learned and can be offered to our consumers.
Mm. Thinking about, how do you test these products to make sure that they're both effective but also safe?
Yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about how, the best practices of selecting ingredients. I know natural ingredients are extremely popular. And then I'll touch a little bit about the strategies for clinical testing. So I know, there are products out there with a lot of ingredients. It is really important to understand the interaction of and the combination of these active ingredients. So the advice would be the best practices would be not only to test individual ingredients, but to test the ingredients in the final formulation to really understand the combination effect. Because we have seen in many studies when you start combining ingredients and active ingredients targeting certain pathways, they may actually cancel out, and we actually have to actually take a step back and really further optimize. So that's one I think is really important strategy we can discuss in future
Mhm.
issues on focusing on formulation. The second aspect is the natural ingredients are really popular. I think it is becoming increasingly important to understand the specific constituents of the natural ingredients. What are the ingredients that are really driving the efficacy? What are the specific phytochemicals that are driving the efficacy? And also, what are the other components? There was actually a recent talk by Dr. Ratan Chaudhary at NYSCC, and he talked about how with the same inky, bakuchiol is a very famous ingredient. With the same
Mhm.
inky, you can have very different compositions, and some may even have ingredients that may not be good for skin. So I think we as scientists and formulators really need to pay attention to how we select ingredients. Obviously, there is a big demand for natural ingredients and big trend, but I think we need to really understand the phytochemicals and the ingredients that really drive the efficacy, and also the other components in it, right? From
Yeah.
a ingredient safety and point of view. I also want to mention a little bit about testing and clinical strategies towards on testing. I know we want to be inclusive. I think a lot of studies do claim that they are inclusive, but most studies you see the inclusivity is more. It's not balanced, right? So it's 85% of one skin type, let's say Caucasian, and maybe it's the 15% of the rest, right? I think as
Yeah.
we advance our clinical testing and development strategies, it's really looking at a more uniform distribution of our consumer base. So I'm just giving examples. Maybe it's 25 to 20 to 25% distribution.
Yeah.
So that's really would help sort of creating products, testing products for the right consumers, because we are as a consumer base is getting more diverse, so it's important to test them and understand the implications and outcomes.
Yeah, most definitely. Thinking forward now, what might be some next directions in products or research for this whole body and skincare market?
I think there's lots of emerging trend. The one that I would go back to, I think it's still an unmet need, and patients and consumers are still not happy, and that is the area of pigmentation, addressing uneven tone, because it is again such a complex etiology, and it is different for different skin types and different race and ethnicity. So, and there are different kinds from melasma to PIH to uneven tone to solar lentiginous. So, I think most patients are not and consumers are not happy with the current treatment. So, there are RX treatments available with hydroquinone, which are very effective. However, not a lot of patients can tolerate, and they have to get off. So I think we need to have an opportunity to develop some strategies to through this multimodal melanin life cycle approach by addressing signs of pigmentation, again, and going back for the entire consumer base by taking this diverse population into account. And then the last paper I want to leave you with is a recent publication that was published December of 2021 in Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology. And this is actually using a multimodal treatment approach where combining a circadian-based antioxidant system and combining with a brightening product that uses the multimodal melanin life cycle. And this is interesting because this was tested in Asian consumers, and the authors were able to further dissect the different segments of Asian consumers because, again, the needs are different for someone from East Asia versus Southeast Asia versus Indian subcontinent. So I think there is an opportunity to further understand sort of different population base. So this is not something new, but I do see the science is emerging in not only how we target and address, but also how we test these products with our consumers.
So now in terms of formulation versus research, what might be impacted moving forward, or what might be some ideas for formulation that you see?
Yeah. So again, I think formulation is very exciting. The consumers are actually becoming a lot more sophisticated. They want to learn about ingredients. They want to learn about the science. They want to learn about how we create formulation. So we certainly have an opportunity to educate and be more transparent. And with that, I think it is time to kind of go back to the basics on formulation design, how it used to be done, where we are looking at sort of what I mentioned, interaction of ingredients, what is the effect of certain of pH ranges that are really important, not only for skin, but also the efficacy of the ingredients. And then I mentioned a little bit about this. There is a huge trend on natural ingredients, but I think we need to understand the actual constituents better and how we test them and the efficacy of that. So I think we as an industry have a huge opportunity to go back to the basics of formulation and then also to help educate consumers on these different ingredients and the impact of these ingredients in different formulations. So, because again, ingredient A may work differently in a certain base, in a water gel versus, let's say, an emulsion, right? So, understanding all those differences is really how it used to be done, and I think it's time to kind of go back to the basics of formulation.
What's old is new again, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Well, I think with that, we can close out. So I want to thank you, Dr. Maitra, for your time and all these wonderful insights and future outlooks for us.
Absolutely. No, this has been a pleasure, and I hope that we can meet in person fairly soon with the audience. And thank you for the opportunity. And hopefully, some of these insights and publications would be useful.
Great. Thank you.